And I believe you said before lunch that the apartment you were in was closer or farther away from Selma, so closer to this side of the building, correct?
Yes, correct.
Up 7 stories high.
Yeah.
Now, you had described looking out. Were you on the balcony or were you looking out the window?
Both. I started out on the balcony, and then as things progressed, went inside to the windows.
So at the point where you saw the men walking down Argyle after the parking garage altercation, were you inside or outside of the apartment?
Outside.
And then when the men turned onto Selma, were you still inside or outside of the apartment?
We moved inside.
Okay. So at the point where you described you saw the men arrive here at Selma and Vista Del Mar, you were inside of your apartment.
Correct.
And what is the first thing that you recall seeing when you saw the men arrive at that intersection?
They were in this parking lot, and I couldn't hear anything, but it appeared that there was some kind of, I don't really know how to describe it. You could just tell that the vibe changed, and then they appeared to argue, and then there appeared to be a gun pulled, and then 2 shots fired. It appeared that someone fell down. There were some cars, so I didn't see what happened to that person, which is why I called 911. And then people ran off. Someone ran through the El Centro apartments, another scattered. And that at that point is kind of why I called, because I didn't see the third person, so I was like, I hope they're okay.
Okay. Now, I'm going to kind of go step by step through what you just said. The first part of your statement that you said, the words you used were the vibe changed, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you described there being an altercation. Did you see any physical contact between any of the 3 men?
No, it appeared to me that they were maybe exchanging words.
Okay. The man with how many of the men did you see produce guns?
1.
And what, if anything, did you see that man do?
He appeared to be closer to the El Centro apartments, and it was more of like a jump back and pulled out a gun and then fired twice, or appeared to fire twice. And then everyone the people that I could see dispersed very quickly.
You keep referencing the El Centro apartments.
Yes.
Is it possible for you to point the direction you're talking about on this exhibit where those apartments would be?
These ones here.
Okay. So the direction that you're talking about that person taking on the street, can you kind of show us with the pointer on this exhibit?
It happened inside a parking lot, so this looks different to how it did when I lived there. So, but it appeared that they could ran through here towards Hollywood Boulevard.
Generally, are you saying though running away from Selma?
Yes.
Okay. And that the first person that you saw heading that direction was the man with the gun?
Yes. They kind of dispersed at the same time, and one went kind of through El Centro from what I could see, and the other went, it happened very fast.
Okay. You said it appeared that the man with the gun discharged the gun twice, were your words, correct?
Yes.
What about the situation made you believe that he had discharged it?
The sound?
Could you actually hear 2 gunshots?
Yes.
Okay. The same time that you saw that man with the gun doing that jumping motion that you talked about?
Yes.
Okay. With that, Your Honor, I'm going to mark my next exhibit, the DVD and the transcript.
The DVD is this is the 911 call?
Yes.
All right, that was People's 8. And the transcript is 9. Do you have enough transcripts for everybody?
I believe I do, Your
All
Honor.
right, Alex, can you distribute those, please?
Yes, sir.
Do you have transcript?
Here, and then you mark the transcript, and
All right. An extra one?
oh, I do.
Oh, we're missing one.
We got it.
Everybody's got a transcript?
There's only one audio recording on this, Your Honor. I'm just gonna play it all the way through.
Gotta be louder.
Wow, okay, good.
Hi, I live in the apartment on the corner of Argyle and Selma in Hollywood, and there's been a shooting.
Did you see it or you just heard it?
Yes. No, like, we watched it.
Okay, what did you see?
There were 4 men,
Uh-huh.
and they were kind of fighting as they were walking along Argyle, and then they turned left on Selma,
Okay.
and we heard yelling and they started running, and they turned left into the back lot apartment for El Centro Apartments, and someone pulled out, the guy in the black sweatshirt pulled out a gun,
Okay.
and he shot, and I think the guy who shot was a blue.
Let's focus on the guy with the handgun. Was he black, white, black, Asian?
He was black, they were all black.
Everyone put it close to that guy.
He was wearing black, a black hoodie.
All black.
I was on the 7th floor, so this is just what I can see from the picture.
Can you still see where you are, or do you know where he is?
No, they all ran away in different directions. 2 of them ran like towards the El Centro apartment, and the other 2 ran.
Let's focus on the guy that had the handgun. You know which way he went?
I think he went to the left.
I knew he was. I saw all the.
Yeah,
Okay.
3 ran towards Hollywood Boulevard.
All right, but I really want to focus on the guy that had the handgun. Because when you said had the handgun, I want to know which way he went. If you could tell me in the direction of travel, did he go east, west, north, south, toward what apartment?
I think he went north.
North, okay.
I think he
North.
went north towards Vine, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
That's where we kind of ran inside together.
Okay. And do we know if anyone injured? Anyone found any medical assistance?
We're not sure. I saw someone go down, but there's a building in the way, so I'm not sure if they ran away.
Okay. And what's your name?
My name is Leah.
Yeah. All right. And your phone number is
Yes.
and that just to confirm from where you are, where you can't see anything from down, you can't see anything in any of the motion at all. You don't see anything.
No, I'm on the 7th floor, so there's a building that kind of blocks it.
Okay. All right. No problem. I'll go ahead and I'll not say anything. But then later, anything else, go ahead and give us a call. Okay.
Alright, thank you.
All right.
All right, Ms. Martin Brown, in the call, have you ever heard that call before?
No,
Is that no?
that's no.
In the call, you described 4 men, correct?
Correct.
Fair to say that the day of this incident, as you're talking to the 911 operator, your memory was better because you were observing it?
Yes.
Okay. The only other question I want to ask you to clarify is, in the call, you said 3 of the men ran towards Hollywood Boulevard. And I put people's 1 back up on the screen. From the parking lot that you're describing, where would the men have gone to go to Hollywood Boulevard?
I assume up the middle of the apartments. This was a very long time ago.
Okay, that's fair. But I just mean generally, it would be from the parking lot here towards the top of the page, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did you actually see the police arrive after you called 911?
Yes.
Did you go down and speak to the police while they were there?
No, I said I didn't want to speak to them when they called me back.
Why was it that you didn't want to speak to the police officers?
Because I absolutely did not want to be involved. I was only calling in case someone was hurt.
I should ask too, the female voice that we hear on that call, do you recognize that to be you?
Yes.
I don't have any other questions for him.
Mr. Zachary?
Hi, good afternoon. This is Martin Brown. You and I have never spoken to each other, right?
We have not.
In fact, yesterday, you refused to speak with the investigator from the defense, correct?
Correct.
All right. People's Exhibit number 7, which is right behind you. Where is your balcony in that picture there? Can you see it from there?
Here.
I'm just, okay.
Of course.
Scoot up a little bit.
Sure.
All right. You know what? Yeah, that's. Just walk around, you just, rotate before you circle that, please.
Which exhibit is that?
7.
7?
People 7. All right. So you were up there when you observed what you described, correct?
Correct.
And you said the vibe changed at one point?
Yes.
You felt from up there that there was a vibe shift?
Yeah, they seemed to move further away from one another.
Okay. And where did the person you said you thought a person went down, where did the person go down?
From
Take your point.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
From where my balcony is, as you can see, there are some buildings.
Yeah.
So most of what happened was in further towards the center of the car park where there were no cars. When someone went down, they went near the cars, and that obscured my view.
Show us at that point where all the stuff happened before you.
So in the middle here, and then towards this kind of wall where the cars are parked as well. That
So-
kind of obscured a little bit at the end.
Just, Margaret, just focus on that for a person. So it's your testimony that what you observed from your 7th floor balcony all occurred inside the car park.
The last part, yeah.
Okay, the part where there was the scuffling, the sound of the gun.
Yes,
And 2 people, and someone going down.
yes,
That was inside the car park?
yes.
Closer to the back wall of the car park where that tent is, that tent over there?
Indicating of.
No, it was kind of in this area from what I could observe. It appeared to be
This area meaning what?
in the middle.
Middle of the car park?
Yes.
Just so the record's clear, she first indicated what looks like a blue tent towards the back of the building. That's what counsel was asking about. The witness then indicated further up, and she pointed the thing by a white
here, we're talking about, it's what you saw from the balcony
Yeah,
here?
like directly in the middle of the area, and then I could see, like, we could see the tail end of the parked cars when it occurred. So that's what obscured the end when someone fell.
So they weren't over here on the street, right?
Honestly, from that vantage point, it could have appeared that that street was part of it, but I thought it occurred in the car park. But again, I was on a 7th floor balcony.
Okay. Aside from that, by the way, who was with you? I heard another voice in there.
My ex-partner and my old roommate.
Two other people.
Yes.
And what's their names?
Do I have Joachim Unge, and then another friend of mine who does not want to be identified.
Okay, what was the first one? Sorry.
Joachim Unge. He's Swedish.
Get a spelling likely for the record.
Joakim. Unge.
That's one individual.
Yes.
And there was a second one?
Yes.
And the second one,
She does not wish to be identified.
she told you that?
Yes.
She told you why she doesn't wish to be identified?
Probably because she doesn't want to be doing what I'm doing
Sure,
right
you
now.
want to do that? Okay. By the way, we talked about it, and I heard on the 911 call, you said that there was a building that in part obstructed some of your view, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did anything else interfere with your ability to proceed that night?
Potentially.
Potentially what?
It was a Saturday evening.
Okay, what else happened on that Saturday that potentially would have impaired your ability to proceed?
So we were watching movies, and I had a hit of a joint.
You had what?
I had a hit of a joint.
So, you had used a joint in marijuana?
Yeah.
You used marijuana that night before observing what you saw, correct?
Very lightly.
Very lightly, okay. Did you tell that to the police that night when they called you back?
No, I just said I didn't want to speak to police.
Okay. And I think you said on that 911 call, we just heard it, so I don't have to replay it for you, but the apartment you were at the time was up on the 7th floor, right? I had that right, 7th floor?
Yes.
Okay. And it was on the corner of Argyle and Selma?
Yeah.
And let's put up People's One. Can I do that for me? Oh. I didn't win. But I want to make it go on.
Your Honor, it looks like it's working down here. This is not past aspersions. Is it possible you bump something?
I very well could.
Do we get more again? You did it. Okay, so that's, you saw that before People's, that's a little crooked, so just straighten it out for a second. That's People's One, correct? That's what you saw before, it's Matt behind you, right? Miss Mark Brown?
Yes.
So, before hearing what you believe to be a gunshot or two gunshots, you saw people fighting in the street.
Having an altercation, yes.
Um,
But I did say that part of it was obscured by the top of the car park's roof.
Matter of fact, what you just said on that 911 call was that there were four men and they was kind of fighting as they were walking along Argyle, and then they turned the front to south, correct?
Yes, correct.
And that was at the time.
Yes,
That was-
it had just happened.
Right, so your recollection obviously would have been much better than
Yes.
today.
I have not, the first I've heard of this again was literally a week and a half ago, so you can excuse me for being a little shady on the
Oh,
details.
no, it's normal, right? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, it's almost 4 years later.
Yeah.
But, what he said back then on that 911 call would have been accurate,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Best of your ability anyway.
Yes.
Despite it, after you said those four men were kind of fighting, walking along Argyle, they turned left onto Selma. After that happened, you saw these people turn left onto Selma Avenue, right?
Yes.
And at that time, you heard yelling, according to your 911 call, right?
Okay.
And then you saw people starting to run, according to the 911, correct?
Yes, correct.
And according to your 911 call, only after you heard the yelling and saw people start to run, you saw what you believed to be a gun, correct?
Correct.
And you told the police that after seeing someone pull out the gun, he shot it.
Yes, correct.
And to be clear, that happened after the people turned left from Selma Avenue.
Correct.
And the street they turned left onto before you heard the shot was Vista Del Mar.
I wasn't sure what the street name was, I just knew that there was like a car park there, but yes, if according to that map, yes.
Assuming that matters, right? Vista
Correct.
Del Mar, right, okay. Obviously, from your 7-4 valve, you didn't see a bullet or anything come out of that gun, right? You just heard a sound.
I saw flashes,
Okay.
but
Heard-
I heard shots, I saw flashes, but I obviously can't see from that.
Correct. And obviously you didn't see anyone get hit, particular, you thought you saw someone go down, right?
I saw someone go down, I didn't know if they'd been hit or not, and that's why I called 911.
Right. And you didn't know, and by the way, I think you said on direct here today, your testimony today, and again, I know it was several years later, it appeared someone may have had a gun involved, but you're not sure because you were on the 7th floor. Recall saying that this morning, in your direct testimony?
Was that when you were when they were talking about underneath the parking structure, or in the actual open? Because if we're talking about when there was the altercation on Argyle, then I couldn't have been sure because it was under a roof and I was on the 7th floor. But when it was in the car park, it appeared to be a gun. Because otherwise, why would it make noise and flash?
Okay. Now, it's your testimony that you saw someone going down during the incident.
Oh, I'm so
Your
sorry.
testimony that you saw someone going down during
Yes.
the incident. All right, and according to you, you think the person who was shot was wearing blue clothing.
I said that in the 911 call. As of this moment, I do not recall.
Yes,
Yeah.
let me be quick with this walk around. No one suggested you should, as you sit here today, remember exactly what you saw back in November of 2020. I'm basing my questions
Okay.
and your answers on your 911
Yes.
call, okay?
Okay, perfect.
So what's in
Sorry.
that 911 call is really what we should be relying on, right? Yes?
Your Honor,
Yes.
that's an objectionable question.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, is there anything in your 911 call in which to correct today?
No, there's not. Again, I have been as accurate as possible with the time that has passed. I'm just here to give testimony and then leave, hopefully. Yes.
You will be yes, please.
Thank you.
Anyway, according to your 911 call, you thought that person who was shot was wearing blue clothing, right?
According to my 911 call, yes.
And then you said, believe all the people ran in different directions.
According to my 911 call, yes.
And you can't be sure, I guess, the direction you believe the person with the gun went, right?
According to the 911 call, yes.
At one point in your 911 call, you said you weren't even sure if the people ran away, right?
Correct.
And then when did they call you back? Is that what happened?
They did call me
Right?
back, yes.
Okay. And basically there were officers at the scene at that point already?
I can't recall if the officers were already at the scene, but I do know that they were on their way.
Okay. And that's when the 911 operator asked if you would meet the officers
Yes.
and you declined,
Yes,
correct?
correct.
All right, thank you. Martin Brown, no further.
Thank you.
Ms. O'Mcannn?
No further questions.
All right, Mr. Martin Brown, thank you for coming in. You are excused.
Thank you.
Next witness.